right, good morning, everyone. My name is Luke, and I'm the music director here, and I have a pounding headache right now, so I've been drinking lots of water to get through this. And now we're going to sing two songs, starting with Hymn 1021, Love Knocks and Waits for Us to Hear, followed by Only Love Can Do That. Love knocks and waits for us to hear, to open and invite. Love longs to quiet every fear and seeks to set things right. Love offers life in spite of foes who threaten and condemn. Embracing enemies, love goes the second mile with them. Love comes to heal the broken heart, to ease the troubled mind. Without a word of bids us start, to ask and seek and find. Love knocks and enters at the sound of welcome from within. Love sings and dances all around and feels new life begin. Darkness cannot drive away darkness. Only light can do that. Hatred cannot drive away hatred. Only love can do that. Darkness cannot drive away darkness. Only light can do that. Hatred cannot drive away hatred. Only love can do that. All you soldiers of peace, hatred has an enemy. If you want the fighting to cease, remember these words from the fallen King. Darkness cannot drive away darkness. Only light can do that. Hatred cannot drive away hatred. Only love can do that. We all must try to be an instrument of peace. Remember, an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind, and the children never see. Darkness cannot drive away darkness. Only light can do that. Hatred cannot drive away hatred. Only love can do that. Only love can heal. Only love can take. cannot drive away darkness. Only light can do that. Hatred cannot drive away hatred. Only love can do that.
That's a nice one, Luke. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to UUCC. My name is Nancy Kelmy, and I'm happy I get to be your lay leader today. Welcome to our friends, members, and guests in the sanctuary and those who are home joining us by Zoom or YouTube. This service is broadcast live, and the images of the congregation may be shared on YouTube. So if you don't wish to be seen on social media, you can take a seat at one of the tables at the back of the sanctuary. And also, please refrain from talking while we're live, as the house microphones may pick up and broadcast your conversation. And finally, please switch your cell phones to silent so that your notifications don't disrupt those around you. Our building is on Shaver Road in Portage, Michigan, on the ancestral lands of the Peoria and Potawatomi people. We pay our respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. It's the little brick church with a rainbow flag and the Black Lives Matter banner out front, because we believe that love is love, and it is our responsibility to dismantle white supremacy and build a beloved community that benefits us all. Our church is served most Sundays by our minister, Reverend G. Ludwig McCartney. We are a community of diverse spiritual journeys, and on other Sundays, we enjoy hearing differing points of view from guest speakers, lay leaders, or a guest speaker. Today, Reverend G is here with us and will be speaking on boundaries and bridges. Excuse me. I'd like to extend a special welcome to our visitors this morning. We're glad you're here. And we invite and encourage you to ask any questions and look through the literature about our UU faith, which is displayed in the entrance and also in the community room. If you're joining us online for the first time, we're glad that you tuned in. To learn more about our church, including our programs for children and youth and other opportunities to connect with us during the week, and there are many, visit our website at www.uucommunitychurch.org. Special thanks to everyone who's making this service work today: our musician, our coffee hosts, our greeters, our tech team, and you. I have some announcements today, quite a bit. The annual meeting of the congregation will be held on Sunday, May 31st at 11:15 a.m., both in person and on Zoom. Members will vote to approve the proposed budget, to elect board nominees, and to conduct other church business. Child care will be provided. Meeting materials were emailed to all voting members on May 15th. If you didn't receive yours, please contact the office. There are a limited number of paper copies available at the welcome desk for those who can't access them electronically. The Stewardship Committee is pleased to launch a new fundraising opportunity called Stewardship in Action. The idea is simple. Members or friends may post a task or a project on bulletin board, and the task could be small household chores, gardening help, or pet sitting. Let your imagination run wild. Or it might be a larger project like painting a room, power washing the deck, or cleaning and organizing a garage. Another member with the time, interest, and skill would contact that person to discuss details, and if both agree, complete the work. In gratitude, the person receiving the help could make a donation to the church, if they have the means, in any amount believed to be appropriate. This program offers a wonderful way to support one another, share our talents, and contribute to the financial health of the congregation. It is Stewardship in Action. Friends Helping Friends while strengthening our community. The Stewardship in Action Bulletin Board is already in place back behind the brick support in the coffee hour area. And there are a few job postings waiting for folks who can help. Be sure to check it out during coffee hour. We gather a group of Portage congregations working together to inspire people of faith to connect across denominational lines. Will hold their annual Pride Picnic at Portage United Church of Christ on Millam on Sunday, June 7th from 1 to 3. It's not a competition, of course, but Reverend G would like to be able to brag to all the other pastors in town about the huge group of UUCC folks who showed support of the LGBTQIA+ equity and inclusion in our community. So please mark your calendars and plan to attend. Once again, June 7th from 1 to 3. That's a Sunday. Around the world, Unitarian Universalists begin their meetings by lighting a chalice. We are truth seekers and seek a truth strong enough to withstand our questioning and even our doubts. The flame reminds us of what we have in common here, so we bring it to life. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. I read the blurb about Reverend G's talk today, and what spoke to me was the part that says, grounding ourselves in our UU values helps guide our choices and extend grace to those who choose differently. That's a good challenge for me sometimes. So I found a poem about that. It's called She Let Go by Reverend Sapphire Rose. She let go. Without a thought or a word, she let go. She let go of fear. She let go of judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all the right reasons, wholly and completely. Without hesitation or worry, she just let go. She didn't ask anyone for advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. She didn't search the scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her day timer. She made no public announcement and put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report or read her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a 5-step spiritual mind treatment. She didn't call the prayer line. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good and it wasn't bad. It was what it was, and it was just that. In the space of letting go, she let it all be. A small smile came onto her face. A light breeze blew through her, and the sun and the moon shone forevermore.
I used to think I had to have my own way, could do everything on my own, living my life like a one-woman play, feeling confused and alone. Still I held on tight to the life that I had, till it wasn't the life I remembered. Finally just stepped aside, opened up a space. Now the blessings arrive every day, since I made room for grace. I want to live without making demands, asking for help when I need it, being happy just doing the best that I can. When I stumble, I won't be defeated, since I made room for grace. I just stepped aside, opened up a space. Now the blessings arrive every day, since I made room for grace. If I had insisted on all that I wanted, I'd see I'd have sold myself short. But when I stopped resisting, I got what I needed and so much more. Since I made room for grace, I just stepped aside, opened up a space. Now the blessings arrive, since I made room for grace. I just stepped aside, opened up a space. Now the blessings arrive every day, since I made room for grace. Since I made room for grace.
I love that song, and it fits so well with today's talk. Good morning and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Reverend G, delighted to have you here today, here in the sanctuary, over there on the holy interwebs, in Zoomlandia, wherever you may be. Thank you all for contributing to making this Sunday service a possibility. It takes a village, and I'm grateful for every single one of you. You know who you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here's how it goes. Miriam and I meet every week. Miriam is, for those of you who don't know, she's our miracle worker. That's right. So she does the RA for the kids, but she's also the office administrator. And we meet every week, and then we already know, because Sunday services have met, so we know what the topics are for that particular month that is upcoming. And then I title the talks that I will be giving the next month, because she has to put them in the newsletter. So I give her a short blurb, and I title the talks. And then I start working on said talks. And if I could have titled that talk, this talk today, it wouldn't have been Boundaries and Bridges. It would have been the channel we forgot to change. And you'll know why. And I will also be reading, which is not customary for me to read my talk, but I will be reading parts of it because this is an important talk, in my opinion. And if I would be a sensible minister, I would have given this talk about 5 years from now. But being me, and I am who I am, I'm giving it now. So therefore, it has to be a precise talk. And I have worked a lot on it, and this is version 9 of this talk that I am presenting to you. And I want to give it to you exactly how I thought it, because it will convey the message, in my opinion, as close as I would like it. And then I also look forward to your feedback. All I ask is that you please be civil, kind if you can, and as constructive as possible. So I want to begin by talking to you about my family. And if you think that's awkward, after that, I will be talking to you about your family. So, my family. I am right now living a very schizophrenic life in 2 worlds. I am Hungarian, as you know. And Hungary just had an election where they voted out Orban. And Trump is an Orban wannabe. In fact, Trump and his cronies are following Orban's roadmap to authoritarian, illiberal democracy. And he had been in power for a total of 20 years. 4 years first, Orban. 4 years first, then he got voted out. Then he ran again. He got voted in, and then he was in for 16 years. He changed the constitution that allowed him to be prime minister for life. Prior to that, he could have only been prime minister for 2 terms. But he changed the constitution, which is, guess who else is trying to change the constitution? So I'm living in this world because I am following the events in Hungary extremely closely. And my feelings are schizophrenic because I feel the tremendous relief, sigh of relief, because Orban wasn't just defeated, he was humiliated and defeated so overwhelmingly. Votes kept coming in even after, there are the overseas votes and whatever votes. It's like 80-20 at this point. That's how overwhelmingly he got defeated. And it feels to me wonderful because, well, I am Hungarian, so part of my heart beats still for there. But then here I am, and here we're still in the thick of it. And I would like to feel the same sense of lightness and liberation here too. And here it just isn't. Certainly not yet. So I want to talk to you about my family now over there. My parents are in their 80s. They both voted for Orban. They're gung-ho Orban supporters, have been. They completely bought the propaganda. So has my oldest sister, her husband, and their oldest son. My middle sister, her husband, and her 2 daughters voted for Orban. And get this, my oldest sister, younger son, whom you met, he visited me a couple of years ago, he was here in this church, he voted for Orban. He sat at the same kitchen table as my oldest sister, her husband, and my oldest nephew. Same kitchen table, same conversations, and yet he voted against Orban. So our family is split down the middle, and we can't talk about it. Just can't. We can't have a normal conversation about it. We're all dug into our camps, and we can't talk about it. And lucky me, I have this going on that side of the ocean, and then I get to have it going on here in this country as well. I have my own version where I have lost friends, not because I've done anything wrong, but because I wasn't willing to do the wrong thing. So we are divided in my family. We are so entangled because where to challenge one's identity. So to challenge one's politics, it feels like we're challenging one's identity. It threatens one's identity. And doesn't that feel familiar to you here? So we just don't talk about it. And I think the loudest thing in my conversations, because I still call my parents, the loudest thing in our conversations is this heavy silence. And I am not telling you this because my family is in any way unusual. I'm telling you this because this is every family in Hungary. And we have in this country, you in this country have your own version of this heavy silence around your holiday table, in your phone conversations with your family, with your friends. Or maybe you don't even have any more touch, you're not even in touch with them anymore. So you know what I'm talking about. Now, I want to talk to you about my oldest nephew, okay? Him you have not met. You met his brother, the younger one. He was here visiting me a couple of years ago. My oldest nephew, he's an attorney. He's intelligent, he's trained, he's very, very capable. He rose to a rather high position in the Orbán government. He became the machine. He completely absorbed the propaganda thoroughly. The new government that just came in said that everybody, every clog, everybody who served the old government should resign. If they have any self-respect, they should resign. People like my oldest nephew. They should resign. If they don't, they will be let go anyway at the end of the month. It appears to me that he's just waiting it out to be let go, which confuses me also because at one point he said there is no way he could ever serve the new government in good conscience. So I don't even know what his game plan is because remember, we can't talk about it. Now, having said all of that, I love him. I've known him all his life. And the best way I can describe what I feel about him is this heartbreak. It's just a heartbreak. But here is what makes the situation even more unbearably complicated. Viktor Orbán, the man my nephew served in a high-ranking position, declared publicly it was the official policy of Hungary that gay people, all of them, are pedophiles. This is not hyperbole. This is what was said, and this is what was legislated around. This is the message that went out to every Hungarian, that gay people are a threat to your family, to your children, to the nation. Gay people are pedophiles. Now, I am gay. I am his aunt. Donny, the young man, you know, his youngest brother, is gay. And get this, Chubby, the oldest nephew, the one who served the government, I believe with this particular knowing that comes from loving someone for decades, that he is gay too. Closeted, quietly, carefully gay. And yet he found it acceptable. He somehow found a justification. And I remember I called him at the time and I said, Chubby, how can you serve this government and accept this? You know me, you know your brother. How can you? And he just very coldly said, well, gee, elections have consequences. So he found some kind of logic to find this acceptable. It just boggles my mind. So what do you do with a person who is simultaneously a collaborator with harm and also a target of it, target of the same harm? I do not have a clean or clear answer. I do have heartbreak, and that heartbreak has me ask this question: where does Chubby belong in my moral universe? And I know Chubby is a weird name. He is not fat at all. It's just a Hungarian name. Where does this person belong in my moral universe? Does he deserve absolution? Does he deserve grace? Or does he deserve my grief? And I think he deserves all three of them in different measures and on a timeline that I do not control. Now, the word absolution comes from the Latin absolvere, to set free. It means to set free, to release from obligation, from guilt, from consequence. It is a word that has deep religious roots, and I chose it very carefully for today. And because I think we need to be honest about what we are actually asking when we ask whether someone deserves forgiveness. We are asking, should this person be set free from the weight of what they did? And here is what our UU tradition, where our UU tradition both helps us and models things just mind-bogglingly, beautifully, unbelievably. Because we affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person. That is our first principle. The inherent worth and dignity of every person. It is not negotiable. It is the bedrock. And it means that my parents have worth. It means that my nephew, the attorney, has worth. That Orban and his ministers who have stolen and have sown so much hatred and fear and division in their country, they have worth. That Trump and his minions have worth. Inherent worth is not the same as earned merit. It is not a reward. It cannot be forfeited. It is simply what we believe human life is, irreducibly, non-negotiably valuable. Now, in parentheses, I will tell you that I have come to question this, the inherent worth of dignity of every human being. I have come to question this, and I wrestled with this, and then I thought, how can it be? Maybe we got this wrong. Maybe it's not true. But then my next question was, if it is not true, who gets to decide. And every time one of us got to decide, boy, what tragedy ensued. So I'm back to believing that every human being has worth, inherent worth and dignity. But affirming someone's inherent worth does not mean releasing them from accountability. It does not mean pretending that harm did not happen. It does not mean that the path to reconciliation is easy, is short, or even always possible. Worth and accountability are not opposites. They don't even compete with each other. In fact, you can hold both at the same time. The new Hungarian government says that it will pursue legal action for those who broke the law. This is the mandate. This is what the people, by the way, overwhelmingly requested when they voted for the new government. Accountability. And they said, yes, we will pursue legal accountability. And I say, good. Let the courts work. Accountability is not the enemy of healing. In fact, I believe it is often the prerequisite of healing. But legal accountability and personal reconciliation are two very different things. Legal accountability will not undo the heavy silence between my parents and I, my older sister and I, between my nephew and I. That is human work, slow, uncertain, often painful human work. And it may not happen in my lifetime. I am making my peace with that. So now, let's cross the ocean, because you know where this is headed, yeah? Here we have our own version of my family. We have our own years of cultivated division, our own media ecosystems built to maximize outrage and minimize understanding. Our own demagogues who discovered that fear is more profitable than hope. Our own official declaration that certain people, immigrants, trans people, anyone who doesn't fit the preferred image of the nation, are threats rather than neighbors. And we are living right now in this moment inside the question Hungary is only beginning to ask. Not yet the aftermath, still the thick of it. We are still in the thick of it. So I am not here to tell you this morning that reconciliation is simple. I am not here to tell you to call your mega uncle, aunt, whoever, and offer absolution over the phone. I am not here to suggest that every relationship is repairable, that every bridge should be rebuilt, or that the work of healing is more important than the work of resistance. What I am here to say is this. There is a difference between person and a position. Between the human being and the ideology that they've been fed. Between my parents, who were shaped by a certain community, a particular history, a particular fear, and 16 years of relentless propaganda and the architects of said propaganda. There is a difference. And those architects knew exactly what they were doing. And this distinction matters. It does not excuse anything, but it matters. Because when we collapse this distinction, we begin to mirror the same logic we oppose. The logic that says some people are enemies. Some people are beyond the circle of concern. Some people do not deserve the full weight of our moral attention. So I also want to be very careful here, because not everyone in this story occupies the same moral position. There is a difference between the person who, in Hungary, they had millions of billboards that spewed hatred. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. So there's a difference between the person who believed the billboards and the person who paid for them. Between the voter who was afraid and the leader who manufactured the fear. Between my parents, shaped by 16 years of propaganda, and the man who built that propaganda. For the architects, for Orban, for Trump, for anyone who looked at human fear and chose deliberately to weaponize it, grace is not the primary posture I am reaching for. Accountability is. The court, the historical record, the clear-eyed naming of what was done, who did it, and what it cost. I find nothing redemptive in a leader who spends decades manufacturing fear. That is not a person swept up in something. That is the engine. And the engine must be stopped, examined, and held to account. Grace is for people who still have room to become something different. And whether the architects of this moment have ever had that room, I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to someone with a higher pay grade, the universe or something. What I will do is, I will not pretend that the foot soldier and the general stand in the same place before the question of absolution. For some, the shaping was gradual, and that's where the title comes in. They turned on the TV, they found a channel, and it's like they forgot they had a remote. And they just kept watching that channel, and pretty soon, the only world they could imagine was the one that channel projected to them. Hungary had its own version, and by golly, we have our own version here. You know which one I'm talking about. But here is where I have to be honest with you, because I do believe that you deserve honesty more than comfort. Forgetting to change the channel explains a first vote. Maybe, perhaps even a second vote. But a third vote? After an insurrection? After 60 plus failed court challenges to a legitimate election? After 34 felony convictions? After a federal judge's finding of rape? At some point, the channel is no longer the explanation. At some point, a person has seen enough to know and has chosen anyway. And that choice, eyes open, facts available, consequences visible, that is not bamboozlement, my friends. That is a moral agency fully engaged. So what do we do with that person? I think we stop calling it grace and we start calling it grief. A different kind of grief. Not for somebody who is lost to the machine, but for someone who found the machine, saw it for what it is, and decided to feed it anyway. Their worth remains. It has to. That is the first principle, and I won't abandon it here either. But worth is not absolution. And understanding is not the same as excuse. So what I am asking you and what I am asking of myself is grace for the ones who were swept up. For my parents, your uncle, your aunt, for the ordinary, frightened people of the world who believed what they were told, because the telling was everywhere and so very, very good. And accountability for the rest. So who deserves absolution? I've been wrestling with this, as you can imagine. This is my 9th version. So let me tell you where I have landed. And I'm doing it humbly. And I'm open to the possibility that I may be wrong, that I might see it very differently tomorrow. And this is where I am today. Absolution is not something we grant. It must be earned through acknowledgement, through change, through the slow work of repair. And it can only be given by those who were harmed. They did it in South Africa, where they set down victim and victimizer, and they had to hear each other out. Slow, arduous work of repair. Now, forgiveness is different. It is not primarily for the person who wronged you. It is for you. It is the decision to stop letting their action determine the shape of your internal world. You can forgive someone you will never speak to again, someone who has never apologized. Forgiveness is an act of self-liberation. Grace is yet something else again. Grace is the willingness to hold open the possibility of a person's transformation even when you have no evidence yet of it coming. Grace does not require proximity. You can extend grace from a safe distance. And you can extend grace and still vote against everything that the other person stands for. Grace is not naive. Grace is not weak. In fact, I argue that grace is the hardest spiritual practice there is. And I tell you why. Because it requires us to resist the very human satisfaction of declaring someone irredeemable. And when you've been hurt, nothing feels sweeter than declaring that someone, the other, is irredeemable. That is so seductive when we are in pain. I am working on grace. For my parents, for my sister, her husband, my oldest nephew, friends here in this country. I am working on grace. In Hungarian, there is a word. It sounds like this, kitartás. And this is what it means. It's a version of perseverance, but it's so deep, bone deep perseverance. It's like you just never ever give up. And it's not optimism, because Hungarians by nature are not optimists. So it's not optimism, but it is this, we've needed it. We've needed it so many times throughout our history. We needed it when the Ottomans ruled over us. We had to endure so many things. Then the Habsburgs ruled over us. Then the Soviets ruled over us. We needed kitartás. And I think that is what this moment is asking of us here today, in this country, in this community. It's not certainty. It's not premature harmony. It is not the bypassing of grief and anger and legitimate moral outrage. It's kitartás. Like persevere with this bone deep of never giving up. Standing in who you are and knowing who you are. Just kitartás. The refusal to be finished. The decision to keep asking the hard questions even when the answers don't come. Or we don't like them. The willingness to hold at the same time both a clear-eye account of what has been done and the cracked open possibility that the people who did it, not all of them, not without consequence, not on a timeline of our choosing, might yet become something different. We are UUs. We are people who believe that the arc of the universe bends toward justice. Not automatically, not inevitably, but when people of conscience choose to bend it. We are people who believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person, not because it is easy, not because everyone has earned it, but because that is the only thing that makes a democratic society possible. And we are a people, some of us anyway, who have been hurt, who are exhausted, who are furious. And that fury is not a spiritual problem to be solved. It is data. It is the moral immune system doing its job. But fury, if it becomes the whole of us, it makes us rigid. And rigidity is its own kind of defeat. So here is my gentle direction offered, not as a prescription, but as invitation. Know the difference between boundary and a wall. A boundary protects something essential. A wall declares someone beyond your moral universe permanently. Boundaries are healthy. Walls built high enough for long enough eventually imprison us too. Know the difference between accountability and punishment. Accountability says, yes, what was done must be named, faced, and addressed. Punishment says, you must suffer. I suffered, you must suffer too. Accountability is justice. Punishment is often just pain wearing the clothes of justice. And note the difference between person and the position. not to excuse the position, not to soft pedal the harm, but to remember that people are not fixed. That people have surprised us before. That the man who worked for an authoritarian government is also someone's son, someone's brother, someone formed by forces he did not fully choose, and that he is not the last word on himself. And neither are you, and neither am I. I do not know what happens next with my family or with these friendships. I do not know if the silence breaks, or when, or how. I don't know if my nephew one day will choose to live freely, authentically as himself. I don't know if my parents in their late 80s will shift or will just go to their grave certain that they were on the right side of history. So these are not hypotheticals for me. These are the actual texture of my life. I carry them in my chest, where the grief and the love have gotten so tangled that I can't always tell them apart. But what I do know is this: the choice to remain open, not naive, not without discernment, not without boundaries, is a choice for life over calcification, for movement over monument, for the long, uncertain, irreplaceable work of being human together. That work does not guarantee peace, but it keeps the possibility alive. And right now, that possibility, that cracked open, stubborn, Hungarian-hearted, you-souled possibility is about the most sacred thing I know. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Here at UUCC, we give generously to show our commitment. We give to remind ourselves how many gifts we have to offer. We give to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We give because we believe we can transform the hurting world. And we give with the faith that together we have enough. There are a few ways to give. You may place a check made out to UUCC in the offering basket, or mail your check to the building, and you can use the Vanco app on your phone. Click donate on our website, but now the ushers will pass the basket while Luke shares his beautiful music.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said. Son, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. If you got troubles, then I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. If we stay stick together, we can see it through, 'cause you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Now some other folks might be a little smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. Whoa, just me and you. And as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me.
As we extinguish the chalice, let us remember to keep the flame awake and alive in our souls, and let the light of the chalice bind us together, showing us the way. As we this flame, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment, these we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
May we find the courage to hold fury and grace in the same hands, to demand accountability from the powerful and extend compassion to the lost, and to be able to tell the difference between the wall we build and the boundaries that we need. And so it is.